Hello everyone, I am Sarah, and this week I will be talking about our trip to New Orleans, Louisiana, and I'll start out like I started out the Austin, Texas video with the top 5 most surprising things. Number 5, the homeless people are as friendly and nice as the city of New Orleans. Everyone is very friendly and very helpful. And my husband and I went to Bourbon Street on our first night that we got in to New Orleans, and I wanted to go to Tropical Isle to get the strongest drink you can get, a hand grenade. Now, I got to about here and was like done. I was already dizzy and a little drunk, and we had been just walking around Bourbon Street. And then we stopped and I was trying to decide, do I want pizza? Do I want a burger? Where do we want to go eat? And this homeless gentleman recommended Crystal's. It's a burger place and it reminds me of White Castle. Little like slider burgers. The fries were excellent, so we ate there. Number 4, the humidity is crazy. I wasn't expecting that level of humidity for September, the end of September, but it is very hot, very humid. I was miserable walking around the French Quarter during the day. At night it was okay, but during the day it was miserable. I'll put a picture. You'll see how miserable I was. I was over it. Number 3, so the French Quarter has no public restrooms and it's disgusting. You want to wear closed-toed shoes, which seems counterintuitive in such a hot city, but with how disgusting the French Quarter is with no bathrooms, the streets are the bathrooms, and there's all types of bodily fluids there in the mornings. So the next day after we had gone out, the shop owners and everyone's like washing down the sidewalks, so there was water, which Nikolai fell into one and it splashed me on my leg. There's, like I said, no public restrooms, and the restaurants don't even have public restrooms, so there's no place to go. So make sure to bring hand wipes, sanitizer, anything and everything, because you don't know what you're going to get on yourself. Number 2, you have to take a tour to see Marie Laveau's grave, and the tour is $25 per person, which seems really high to me. If it was $10 or $15, we probably would have taken the tour, but we didn't want to spend that much to go look at graves. And number 1, there's a lot of colorful artwork, so stop and appreciate the art. Stop to smell the roses, but stop to look at the art, appreciate the artwork. That's something that I wish that we had done more of. I was just so hot and miserable, I could not really enjoy myself. We did pop into a very colorful art gallery. This gentleman painted these bright, vibrant, colorful portraits of people, and I loved his artwork. I was not on my best. I wish I was. I would have taken his business card, but he gave us recommendations of places to go, things to do, what to see. Like, he was wonderful. He recommended that if you don't have much time and you're going to visit New Orleans, that you should go to do a plantation tour, a swamp tour. Definitely he recommended eating at Loretta's authentic pralines, which we had eaten breakfast at Cafe Beignets, so we didn't want to go there as well, but he said the beignets there there's more options. So I'm going to read you the menu. They have chocolate beignets, crab beignets, burger beignets, breakfast beignets, barbecue chicken beignets, seafood beignets, peanut butter and jelly, traditional, and I think they have what they're known for is the praline beignet. I wish we had met him before we had eaten breakfast at Cafe Beignet and had just, your basic beignet, because I've had basic beignets at a restaurant at Southern Rail in Phoenix, Arizona, which They're excellent there. That's one restaurant. He also recommended a place called Ragin' Cajun, which I guess that's pretty famous. And he also recommended a place called Moro's. We did go to Moro's, so I'll be talking about that later. He recommended that if you are out of college, basically he stated you shouldn't be going to Bourbon Street, that's for the college kids, which we had fun. We're not college kids by any means. We're way past that demographic. We were there on a Tuesday night and then a Wednesday day, and we found out later that Tuesdays and Wednesdays, it's their weekend. So a lot of businesses are closed down. Now, when we were walking up and down Bourbon Street, we were wondering why some bars were closed, and it was pretty quiet. But you know what? That was good for us. We don't really go out anymore. We haven't gone out, since this craziness, really. So the amount of people there, it was perfect for us. It wasn't too crazy, which I couldn't handle. I could just barely handle Bourbon Street on a Tuesday night. I could not imagine being there during Mardi Gras. I wouldn't do it. I can't do it. It was funny because he said, if you're over that age limit, you should go to Frenchman Street. So we weren't thinking, okay, that's just right in the French Quarter. We got in the car and we drove around looking for it. And outside of the French Quarter, there's a street called Frenchman Street, and it's a lot of graveyards. So we actually did walk into one that was open. And so it's not like the tombs where Marie Laveau is buried, but it's interesting that the plots are raised. And I like how there's, you're not going to disturb anybody's resting place, basically. There's walkways, and it was really peaceful. I'll post pictures here so you can see the graves. So when we left Austin, Texas on Tuesday morning, we hit Baton Rouge right around 4:00, and traffic was starting to be a little crazy. So we decided to get off the highway and go to the Capitol. I'll post pictures here. We were surprised at how tall the Capitol in Baton Rouge was. It's really spread out. There's a big lake and sidewalks and benches, and it's very peaceful. When we got there at 4, it looked like all the state employees were gone already. It was pretty empty, the city and the area around the Capitol. So rush hour traffic, yeah, it was a little congested. We sat in traffic for a little while, but it helped that we were able to stop, and we walked around the Capitol, around the lake, and we saw the Capitol. It was nice. When we got to New Orleans, and once we got settled into our Airbnb, which was very nice, we went to just a local spot and had seafood. And I tried something called, and I'm going to say it wrong, so I apologize, Crawfish Boudin. And we'd seen signs for it, like, all the way, driving through Louisiana. And I'm like, I want to try that. It was absolutely not what I was expecting. It's basically it looks like a sausage stuffed with rice and then crawfish. I did not like it. Took a couple of bites, and I gave the rest to Nikolai. He luckily had ordered shrimp, and it came with so much. We had enough for him to eat, me to eat, and then we had lunch the next day with it as well. So the portion sizes were great. The food, it was just okay, but after coming from Austin, it was nice to be able to order food and get seafood and really large portions and not break the bank. So the next morning, like I stated, we had beignets at Cafe Beignet. It was okay, but I was already in a mood with the music playing. There was musicians on the streets, and they're playing, and it was loud. It was just kind of like the night before, walking around Bourbon Street. All the bars had their doors open, and it's just all this conflicting sounds and music, and it's just kind of overwhelming. And I am not a morning person. I do not like mornings. I don't like noise, and music sometimes can just seem like noise, especially when I haven't had my coffee yet. So with the noise and mystery water and like the streets that are uneven and the heat. I was in a mood, and I am not gonna lie, like I was over New Orleans. I wanted to leave. I didn't like allow myself to enjoy myself too much. We walked around, but not as much. I mean, we walked like 5.5, 6 miles, pretty much every place we stopped. But in New Orleans with the humidity, that was just too much. I was over it. After we walked around a little bit, we ended up going back to our Airbnb to kind of rest a little bit and get some water. And before we went back home, we went to the Voodoo Museum. Make sure you or anyone is military or veteran to let them know there is a discount. We forgot to do that again. It wasn't offered to us, probably because I was paying, and the one's like, she's not ex-military, which no one should make assumptions because anyone could be a veteran. Doesn't matter how you look. But she offered the discount to the people who paid behind me. It's a tiny little museum. I learned, some things. It was interesting. It was cool to see. They want you to still wear masks in there, even though the person selling the tickets doesn't have a mask on. Just FYI. So then that's when we went back to the Airbnb to kind of cool off. We then went to Jean Lafitte's Preserve. It was a little bit outside of the city, and I definitely recommend that. We basically had the grounds to ourselves. It felt cooler and less humid in the swamp than it did in the city, which was shocking because you would think, hey, we're actually in the swamp, it's gonna be swampy. Well, it was actually nice. We did a little walk, and the little dragonflies were dancing for us and posing and wanting us to take their pictures, and they were so cute. I'll post some pictures here so you can see them. They're adorable. We had a little lizard that was running along the railing next to me, and we stopped, and he stopped, and his little like chest was going. It was so cute. He literally just wanted me to acknowledge him. And I said, hi, Mr. Lizard. And then he ran off. It was so cute. Now, we were sitting, there were some picnic tables because I was too scared to sit on the benches with my back to the swamp with no railing. There wasn't railing all the way out. There was like holes in some of the benches. It's like, who would even sit? Like, I'm sorry. If I can't see and there's no railing and a crocodile or alligator can just come up behind me, no thanks. We walked back and we were sitting, and I did a tarot pull, and Nikolai was sketching. Right behind us is the ranger station, or like kind of where the museum is. And then around us, well, then on the other side is the bathroom, and there's like railing there. Granted, the alligator or crocodile could probably come through, but at least we would have time to see them coming. I'm writing, and I hear crack, 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 crunch, 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 crunch. And I like look up, but I don't see anything. There's nobody around. So I go back to writing. Nikolai goes back to drawing, and we hear it again, and we look up. We don't see anybody. We don't see anything. So again, and then the third time we get up, and we go to the railing, and we look over, and the grass is swaying like something had just moved very quickly. But it was gone. The alligator was gone. We didn't see any. One gentleman, the one person we passed walking out, he saw one, and he got a picture, and he showed us. That was cool. I'm fine with that. We heard one. We know one was watching us. But he was shy. He didn't want us to acknowledge him. He ran away when we got up to go say hi. But that was the highlight of the trip. I really enjoyed going to the swamp. And I learned that there's red maple trees in the swamp. And actually, I wanted to find out to see when turn red in New Orleans, because I didn't know they had maple trees. So the swamp red maple is native to Louisiana, and they said something about winter. So it says late November, early December. So I wouldn't mind going back to New Orleans at that time, because I would love to see the maples turning color and the leaves changing there. We then went back into the city. We went to House of Hoodoo, and it had all these herbs and anything and everything you need. They had sage, so we picked up this pretty chakra sage, which you can buy these pretty much anywhere. We used to sell them at Jan Ross New Age Books and Gifts, where I used to work. And they had all of these like Florida waters, but with different scents. So we got orange. So they had like a ton of these, which was cool. And like I said, herbs, and they had some tarot cards and some books. It was pretty cool. We then went to a place called Chakras, and it's more of like clothing for Mardi Gras and for festivals, and it was pretty cool. All we bought there was these incense matches, which we also sold at Jan Ross New Age Books and Gifts, where I worked. But we needed some sage. I forgot what was going on, but we were like, we need some sage. So we bought some. We burned it. We needed to get rid of some negative energy, some attachments. I think that the place where we were staying in New Orleans maybe had some activity. It didn't really bother us, but I don't know if that's why we bought it. I don't remember now. I didn't take as extensive notes as I did in Austin. So another place this artist recommended to eat was Moro's, and oh my gosh, that food was amazing. We ordered a catfish with, I think it had crawfish, and it was a Cajun sauce. Oh my gosh, the catfish just melted in your mouth, and the pasta and the sauce, it was superb. Moro's is, I'm so glad that we were able to go to Moro's and have dinner there, because it was amazing. And going to the swamp was great. The swamp tours where they take you out on the boats is like very expensive. I want to say it's about $50. So anything with the tourists in New Orleans, the tours, the ghost tours, the vampire tours, the swamp tours, the plantation, they're all very expensive, about $50 plus per person, or $25. It just depends. Yeah, so airboat tours, 6 to 10 passengers, it's $85. The sum we were looking at was like $50 per person and things like that. So New Orleans, in terms of like food and where, you know, hotels, it's a little less expensive than Austin. It wasn't too bad. Like, I didn't buy any coffee or anything in New Orleans. I didn't stop at any coffee shops. I wanted to. There was one really cool, cute little place that was out towards the swamp that I wanted to stop at, but my husband didn't want to stop, so we went back into New Orleans. Now, I did have FOMO because, like I said, I was in a bad mood. I was hot, I was sweaty, I was exhausted. But I would like to go late November, early December, and spend some more time and enjoy the art and be able to walk around and go to some of the other neighborhoods. And I would definitely want to go to Loretta's and have a beignet from there, try the praline beignet or the burger beignet. I think something different, it would be fun. And definitely Southern food, the Cajun food, the seafood, just everything was so good. In New Orleans, the houses were decorated for Halloween. They were definitely in the spirit, even though it was not even October yet. A lot of the houses were already decorated, and it was just a lot of fun. Other than the humidity and Bourbon Street, I had a good time. I think that Bourbon Street is great if you're in your 20s, your early 20s, and you still have that energy and you don't care, you know, you're so, I don't know, less fazed by things. I mean, I've always been a germaphobe, but it's, you know, only gotten worse. It's like, it's not fun to, you know, walk around a city being a tourist and knowing that there's no public restrooms. Like, I thought I found one and it was closed. They had it closed. Why? I don't know. It's like, why are there no public restrooms in New Orleans? So really, the fact that there's no public restrooms, that's really my only like complaint. And the humidity was bad, but it's a fun city. The people are so friendly. Like, I don't know, this one homeless guy, like, he really wouldn't take no for giving us Mardi Gras beads. We don't really carry cash, so I only had some change, and he was cool with it. And I was trying to give him the beads back, but he wouldn't, so I just gave him what change I could. But he was nice about it, and we didn't really experience the whole, you know, like, where'd you get those shoes? I guess that's something that watching some other videos about New Orleans that happens, like a scam or whatever. But we only had really good experiences, met really nice people, talked to really nice people. Like, I definitely enjoy New Orleans, and that is one of the places that I have FOMO about. I would love to go back, but it would have to be in the wintertime. It can't be when it's humid. But I would say the people of New Orleans, 5 out of 5. Traffic in New Orleans, 4 out of 5. Yeah, we got into, some rush hour traffic. It was a little slow, but it was still kind of moving. It wasn't bad. Getting around the city wasn't too bad. We found parking. There was public parking where we could just pay and leave the car, and we walked around. So that was nice. And then, of course, there's lots of public transportation. So New Orleans is a very walker-friendly city, which is nice. If it hadn't been so hot, we could have literally just walked from where we were staying. But that would have added an extra, 2 miles, 3 miles onto our already 5.5, 6 miles we walked. So I don't know if we would have really wanted to do that, but in theory we could have. So I like that I like walkable cities. New Orleans is walkable. Unlike Austin, I don't think Austin was a walkable city. To me, it wasn't. I mean, I'm from the East Coast. Walkable cities to me, it's New York City, Boston, Chicago's a walkable city. New Orleans, it seems like in sections is very walkable. But I'm glad we had the car so that we could leave the city. Like I said, going to the nature preserve was my favorite. The food was 5 out of 5. The Witch Museum, the Voodoo Museum, I'd say 3.5 out of 5. Let's see, what else did we do? Cafe Beignets, 4 out of 5. It just depends on what you're going for and what you're, hoping to see and do. But the artwork is amazing. The people are great and friendly. The drinks will kick your ass. If you like White Castle, check out Crystal Burgers. It's pretty good. We saw them driving throughout the South. That was our experience in New Orleans. We had fun. I had FOMO. I definitely want to go back. I want to see the red maples. In terms of a witch city, it's definitely a witchy city. Lots of hoodoo and voodoo shops. We only went to the one. Well, 2 if you consider, because the Museum of Voodoo had a little gift shop attached. I'll see you all next week. Bye, guys.